So I welcome you all once again and thank you so much for taking out this time for yourself today because today's webinar is nothing related to our kids. This is no sharing of a journey, not on any topic that we commonly look forward for, but this is something for us, for our health first, so that we can help our kids in the best ways possible. So, uh, yeah, I was saying that I floated this webinar details at the beginning of this year, 1st of January, coming up with a topic like 21 days series of transformation. So, this in itself tells us this is not just one webinar where we are talking about 21 days. We will be doing a lot more under this 21 days of pranayam, 21 days of sound healing, 21 things we'll know about yoga, and a lot more to come up, which I will keep sharing with you as in when things get planned and finalized. But why I took this gap of 21 days was basically to give this new year a wonderful start. So I gave these 21 days to myself first. I tried to build on some habits. Now I won't share what habits, but I tried to work on that first. And after I've achieved success, I I also had made up my mind अगर नहीं हो पाया मेरे से तो I will just drop this webinar. But I have succeeded and I'm on to the step 2 now. So I thought, let's go ahead with it. Let us first see what is this concept of 21 days? Where is this concept coming from? I would like to ask you before going ahead, has any of you ever come across any program, any course, or tried any activity for 21 days? Any of you? If anyone wants to share anything, please unmute yourselves and speak.
Yes, Khushbu, I have done 21 days challenge of meditation.
Who's this? I can't see the name popping up here.
Vandana.
Vandana. Okay, great, great. Yeah. So I had also joined that 21 days of meditation by Deepak Chopra. Is it the same one, Vandana?
I did with Deepak Chopra and I also did a challenge by Art of Living.
Wow, great. So we all are aware that there is something to do with this number 21, which helps us build new habits, adopt some changes in life. So, a little thing behind this, where this concept comes from. There is nothing very scientifically proved. इसके पीछे कोई scientific backing नहीं है बहुत ज़्यादा. But early 1960s, there was a cosmetic surgeon called Dr.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was on mute all this while. I'll just come,
Okay.
go back again. Yeah. So I was just talking about how this concept came into existence, and is it something which is scientifically backed, some concept into existence which has a lot of research and studies supporting it. Somebody's mic is unmuted. I would request please keep it on mute. Yeah, thank you. So, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, he was a cosmetic surgeon, and in 1960s, he had published a book called Psycho Cybernetics. This book was more to do with how how one can basically change his self-image. A book which detailed a lot of techniques on how you could help yourself, a self-help book. But over the decades, since this book has been published, the idea of this 21 days challenge is so often repeated, and we have kind of trained our brain in such a way that this concept we are accepting is it as something real. And not only Dr. Maxwell
Your mic is muted, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. I don't know why this is happening again and again automatically. Sorry. So there was this psychologist, Wendy Wood, from University of Southern California, who was studying human behavior and basically how a habit directs, guides, or builds up a behavior. And he also believed, like these are his own words, it takes about 21 days of a practice for an old mental image of ourselves to dissolve and a new one to gel in. So कोई भी चीज हमारे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड तक जाके स्टोर होने में it needs practice, it needs repetition. We all have experienced it with our kids also. कोई भी चीज हम उनको एक बार बताते हैं, in some areas they have a very strong memory, but when it comes to inculcating some habits, something which we want to stay for a lifetime, see, memorizing some words, vocabulary is a different thing, concepts is a different thing, but to live something, sorry, building a habit, developing an attitude, behavior, all these things take time. And we have experienced it with us, with other members in the family, and our kids also, that anything needs a certain amount of repetition and practice, which, according to these uh, psychologists and the surgeon, is a 21 days time. Now, there is no scientific backing to it, but not a harm to. There is a little more detailed explanation to how exactly we form a habit. And yes, one more thing which I missed, skill versus behavior. It's easy to develop a habit which leads us to adopting some behavior, but not a skill. Any skill, there are some skills which are like learning to play a piano, playing a guitar, learning to swim, and other such skills. They need a lot of practice, a lot of consistency. So we can't learn these things in 21 days. But yes, some habits, some behaviors, some lifestyle modifications, the first step definitely is to do it consistently for minimum of 21 days. So here the ladder that you see, first we need to work on developing a habit, good or bad, whether it is about adopting something or about giving up on something. These habits shape behaviors, and it is our behaviors which ultimately help us to succeed in whatever goals we have decided, or whatever is the definition of success for us. और ये habit form करने के लिए what is important is the discipline, the courage, which we oftentimes feel कि कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, but we really need that level of courage and hard work to put in to develop any habit. And when we are working towards developing any new habit, we do not have to focus on the result, but the process. It's the whole system which takes us from the habit to behaviors, ultimately leads to success. Result पे हम अगर शुरू से focus करेंगे, we miss on every important element which is a part of that process. 3 phases of habit formation. any habit to be formed takes us through 3 phases, which is the honeymoon phase, the fight through phase, and the second nature. In 21 days, what we can do the best is we can work on crossing this first hurdle, which is the honeymoon phase. The first step, sorry, not the hurdle, but the first phase, the first step, the honeymoon phase. What is this honeymoon phase now? Um, any good motivational session, something inspiring when we hear, हमको ऐसा लगता है यार ये तो हमें करना चाहिए. I am all set for it right from today, or maybe just from tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna do this. So everything appears very goody goody, just like a honeymoon thing. But every honeymoon ends, right? So nothing is permanently easy, or nothing stays easy forever. So a result of something inspiring, हमने कुछ भी बहुत inspirational सुना, and we feel like adopting it, and we are all set to go for it right from that moment. So that phase is honeymoon phase, जब हम पूरे जोश में होते हैं. But eventually this inspiration ends, the reality sets in, and all the struggle starts. Our old habits, वो इतने powerful हो चुके होते हैं over the time that they keep returning, and it is just not possible for us then to allow something new to bud and sprout. वो old habit इतने strongly dominate करता है उस time, it keeps returning. So how can we sail through this particular phase? The first step here is recognition. We have to recognize that we have entered this phase. We have crossed the honeymoon phase, and there is some amount of effort still needed. जब तक हम वो recognize नहीं करेंगे ना कि हमने क्या achieve किया है in last 21 days or in the honeymoon phase, हम आगे बढ़ ही नहीं पाएंगे. Then we need to ask a question to ourselves. How will I feel if I do this? And how will I feel if I don't do this? You yourself will get an answer कि कैसे आगे बढ़ना है, how much important this particular thing is to you. And then the life projection, where you see yourself after say 3 years, 5 years, if you start making these changes, and where you see yourself if these changes don't shape up to what you had visualized it as. Then comes the third phase, which is called the second nature. This is when you are kind of going back to the groove. There are some interruptions and disruptions that come here in the picture. First is the discouragement monster. If we have not succeeded in all our efforts so far, we feel so discouraged, so demotivated with all the negative results maybe, कि हमें ऐसा लगता है कि यार जाने दो, this is something it was not meant for me, so let me just not waste my time on this, or maybe this isn't working for me, this is definitely something good, but मेरे लिए काम नहीं कर रहा है, and I just can't do anything about it. So this is like a discouragement monster which pushes you one step back. If you overcome this, you go ahead. If you don't, then we are stuck, or we probably fall back into the pit. Then is disruptions. Disruptions is बहुत सारी अलग-अलग तरह की चीजें बीच में आती हैं. Like I had made my some New Year resolutions, and December में ही I was facing a lot of trouble with my eyes, which turned out to be something major. It's not a very minor thing कि बस power था, glasses लगाने थे, या it was more to it. So these kind of disruptions come in between. कभी vacation आ जाएगा, कभी बच्चों की तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, कभी कुछ और, कभी, so there would be something or the other which would disrupt your practice or your efforts. So it's all in our hands how we want to take it, but this is how it is divided into 3 phases. There is a possible chance that from the second nature phase we will go back to the fight through, but it's a continuous effort. We have to fight through again and again and again and not fall back. बिल्कुल एकदम ground level पे नहीं जाना है. So with this, I'm sure we all have a clear understanding that it isn't easy. To develop any great habit, we have to work on it on a daily basis. It requires sacrifice, it requires a daily commitment. So this was just the part one of today's discussion, the session, where we spoke about why 21 days? What is the importance of doing something for 21 days? Now let us learn something about us. What is it in the human body, mind, and overall us as humans? What is it that will help us develop these habits? So it's the nervous system. We all know brain is the karta dharta of everything. And when it comes to nervous system, हमें ऐसा लगता है कि it is the major part is the core part. Definitely core is the brain, but it's a broad thing. Nervous system is divided into central and peripheral. और आज हम बात करेंगे, we'll take a bottom up approach, and I'm going to talk a little about sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, which is a part of the peripheral nervous system. हम core पे नहीं जा रहे. We are not talking about the brain and spinal cord and how the neuronal structure is built and everything. We don't need to get into all those technical details of how the human nervous system works, but a little bottom-up approach, because this is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, which forms the basis of all the stress we are taking, how we react to situations, how and in what ways we invite diseases, we invite sickness, and how eventually we overcome that. तो ये सारी चीजें जो हैं वो govern होती हैं हमारे autonomic nervous system से, which has two parts, sympathetic and parasympathetic. The parasympathetic nervous system is that part which is called the rest and digest mode. And the sympathetic is fight, flight, fright, and freeze mode. पहले सिर्फ fight and flight common होता था, but now 4 words use करते हैं हम उसके साथ, fight, flight, fright, and freeze. So basically, whenever there is any stressful situation, जैसे कोई भी छोटा एग्जाम्पल, जैसे मान लीजिए मैं अभी आपसे तेज आवाज में बात करने लग जाऊं, and you and me are just one to one, and just for no reasons I start getting angry on you, my voice goes a little loud, थोड़ा सा you would feel कि क्या हो गया इनको, what's wrong with her. We kind of, you know, our system triggers this sympathetic nervous system. It activates. हमारा human body इस तरीके से designed है that whenever any stressful situation is coming, our sympathetic system, nervous system gets activated. And this is all happens. It increases the brain activity, metabolic rate increases, सब चीजें high होने लगती हैं, pupils get dilated, अलग-अलग situation में अलग-अलग reaction, but this is how the response is generated by the sympathetic nervous system. Now to counterbalance it, we have the rest and digest mode, which initially, not initially, like in the ancient days, बहुत पहले, this was the lifestyle which people were following, and they were so stress free कि उनका parasympathetic system ज़्यादा active रहता था. But now our body is habituated to sympathetic nervous system का activation for most of the time. So parasympathetic nervous system is mainly regulated by the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve stimulation आप लोगों ने सबने सुना ही होगा नाम. It's a very commonly used term these days for autistic kids also, कि ये vagus nerve stimulation, I don't know the exact term क्या है, but there is something vagus nerve stimulation which helps children with autism. So basically, by working on the vagus nerve, they are trying to help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows down the system. And slowing down is the key, because when you are in a rest and digest mode, all the healing, the rewiring, the regeneration, the repair, all that thing happens. So I'm not just going through each and everything in this table. It's very clear from the image. So we'll move to the next slide. A little about vagus nerve. What exactly is vagus nerve? It is the 10th pair of cranial nerves. Cranium is the word that we use for brain. We have some medicos also here, so I won't go much into details of this. But from our brain, we have 12 pairs of nerves regulating the entire system. And vagus nerve is one of those which controls the majority of vital organs. It just give me a second. Yeah. So this is how it affects all the vital organs. Since it is the one which is also activating the parasympathetic nervous system, आप यहाँ देखेंगे वेगस नर्व का जो फंक्शन है वो पूरा स्लो डाउन करने वाला है, रेगुलेट करने वाला है, हार्मोनाइज करने वाला है. So it decreases the heart rate, it decreases the vascular tone. Liver में एक liver is the organ which is responsible for homeostasis, the पूरा blood sugar levels and everything. So kabhi, whenever you find some time, you can read about this in details, how vagus nerve exactly helps us get into that restful mode. So if we have to summarize, autonomic nervous system has two parts under it, sympathetic and parasympathetic. हम अपने समझने के लिए we can say sympathetic nervous system जो है मोड है, इट्स बेसिकली द ऑन मोड. कोई भी ऐसी स्ट्रेसफुल और हैवी सिचुएशन हमारे सामने आई एंड हमारा सिस्टम इमीडिएटली एक्टिव हो जाता है. सो दैट इज द ऑन मोड. इट ऑफर्स सिंपैथी, हम ऐसे याद रख सकते हैं. फाइट, फ्राइट, फ्लाइट, फ्रीज मोड. तो हमारी बॉडी में जो भी जिस चीज की जहां जरूरत है, इट स्टार्ट्स रशिंग टू दैट ऑर्गन जहां जहां उसकी जरूरत है. सो मोर ब्लड, मोर एनर्जी, मोर प्राणा. द प्राणा इज कंज्यूम्ड हियर. अभी हम आएंगे व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट प्राणायाम. सॉरी. Yeah, so when we talk about pranayam, we'll come to that thing also. But prana is what is needed for all the vital functioning of organs when we talk in terms of energy body. अभी हम physical body को समझ रहे हैं. तो when we talk about energy body in the yogic science, this prana parallels the endocrine system. पूरा हमारा जो hormonal system है ना, उसके साथ ये हम पैरेलली देखते हैं. एंड पैरासिम्पैथेटिक सिस्टम इज द ऑफ मोड, wherein your body goes into that state of relaxation. All the required chemicals are secreted to bring about that state of homeostasis, that balance. अब हम ये करेंगे कैसे? इसके लिए बहुत सारे tools होते हैं. There are various tools. Basically जितनी भी healing और curing और इस तरह की therapies हैं, they are all indirectly working on bringing this parasympathetic system in an active mode. हम आएंगे tools पे. I'll come to that, but let me just take you through this one more slide. Emotions. ये balance को restore करने के लिए we have to work on emotions. Why? Because emotions is nothing but a kind of vibration. Emotions is coming out of thoughts, feeling. ये सारी चीजें interconnected हैं. Our body reacts in different ways to different emotions. Like, I'll just read out the first one, and I'll share this PPT later if you want on the group or on the email, and you all can go through, or otherwise also all this data is available on the internet. So let's say if we have if we are suffering from any kind of grief or depression, ये particular emotion जो है हमारी body में lungs, skin और intestines को affect करता है. इसीलिए आप देखिए, if there is any person who is in any grief or depression would either have some kind of breathing problems, any respiratory issue, decreased oxygen in the blood and constipation, blockage. एक तरीके से वो blockage वाली feeling होती है. That blockage leads to breathing problems, that blockage leads to constipation. So this way each emotion represents itself. कहीं ना कहीं जो चीजें हम सफर कर रहे हैं आज, we are going through, whether physical, psychological, psychosomatic, जिस भी area में हम struggle कर रहे हैं, it has some suppressed emotions behind that, or some active, highly active emotions behind that. One more thing about emotions is each emotion has its particular frequency. जैसे आप यहाँ पे एक दो कोई रीड कर पा रहे हो अगर स्लाइड में, तो जो भी पॉजिटिव इमोशंस हैं, यू सी, as we are going towards positivity, the frequency is higher. We keep hearing these motivational speakers who say vibrate at a higher frequency, your vibrational frequency should be high, and they keep talking about a lot of love, compassion, gratitude, peace, all these things. तो ये आप देख रहे हैं कैसे connected है. It's like a, either you work on your frequency to develop those emotions, or you work on your emotions to come into that range of frequency. अभी हम आगे थोड़ा brain waves की भी बात करेंगे, where you will be able to relate how by working with these tools we work on our brainwave patterns, and how these brainwave patterns eventually help us work on our emotions. And like I've written here, to restore the balance we need to work on the emotions. So these are the tools which we can adopt: pranayama, yoga, and the sound healing. There are many more tools, but in today's session we've picked up these three. Moving ahead with the first one, pranayama. Like I said, the first in the series. This is the series of transformation, and we will have throughout this year something or the other coming up. पहला इसमें जो हम start कर रहे हैं is the pranayama. What is the meaning of pranayama? I would want somebody from the group here to tell me what is pranayama. What do you understand by this particular word pranayama? Anyone? I'll mute myself. Yes, anyone?
It is a kind of oxygen intake.
It is a kind of outtake and intake.
Oxygen.
Okay. So
it is a rhythm for inhaling and exhaling.
Rhythm, good.
So this is about prana, basically, the vital force. What we cannot actually see, it's much more than oxygen.
Right.
This is the prana. So it's simply not breathing. It's much more than breathing.
Right. Thank you, Madhvi. Thank you for that. And everyone else for sharing. What is
it is conscious awareness of prana.
Yes. That's another important dimension of that. Thank you, Sarika Didi. So, as you all say, it is more to do, more deeper than just the breath. Prana is more subtle. I heard Sadhguru talking in one of his videos. I heard him that there is no equivalent word to prana in English. Actually, we just call it vital force and life force because we don't have any other better word to replace. But pran shakti जो हम बात करते हैं, prana, we just term it as life force for the sake of that it is important for the life to be going, but actually उसका कोई equivalent word है नहीं. So prana is that energy, the life force. आयाम is, आयाम का मतलब होता है किसी भी चीज को अपने विल पे रेगुलेट करना, how we can regulate and control it. और अगर हम उसको ऐसे ब्रेक करें प्राणा एंड यमा, तो अगेन यमा मीन्स टू टेक चार्ज ऑफ समथिंग, टू कंट्रोल. सो इन समरी, pranayama is a method which is used for regulating the flow of this prana through breathing. So breathing is just a tool that we are using to regulate this flow of prana in our entire body. So breath and prana is not the same, like Madhvi said. How it manifests in human body. आप लोग प्लीज ये मत सोचना this is too much technical and in details, but we need to understand at least थोड़ा superficially सही. I wanted to touch this topic to understand that prana is actually not just the breath and how pranayama needs to be done. उसके पीछे एक basis है, ऐसे ही नहीं करते हैं हम कोई भी प्राणायाम. So basically this pranayam, pran shakti manifests in the human body in 10 different at 10 different levels. उनको भी ऐसे पंच प्राण और 5 उप प्राण बोलते हैं. हम उप प्राण में नहीं जा रहे हैं. We are just discussing about the 5 levels of it. The panch prana, which is उदान, प्राण, समान, व्यान and अपान. हर रीजन को बॉडी के एक अलग प्राण शक्ति गवर्न करती है और उसकी फंक्शनिंग के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होती है. सो ईच dimension is in charge of a different body mechanism or a function. उदान is the one, आप उसमें इमेज में देखिए, उदान is the one which is governing the topmost part of our body, which is the पूरा facial region, the head. चक्रास में हम नहीं जा रहे, we won't discuss the chakras. Then prana, सिर्फ जब हम प्राण की बात करते हैं ना, तो we are talking only about this thoracic region primarily, diaphragm से लेके throat तक. Respiratory system is a part of it. इसीलिए प्राण को हम डायरेक्टली कई बार रिलेट करते हैं ब्रेथ से, but like we discussed already, प्राण is more subtle. It is a part of the energy body. फिर समान होता है this navel region, पूरा हमारा abdominal region. व्यान is the entire body, circulatory system, nervous system, वो जो energy flow है, that is called व्यान. और अपान is the bottommost, नीचे वाले चक्रा, the pelvic floor. And what do we do with pranayama? तो basically हम इन पांच प्राणिक शक्तियों को, 5 प्राणिक energies, we are trying to balance between these, कि ये पांचों अपना अपना काम एक बैलेंस में कर पाए. We are not just trying to decrease the physical breath rate, but overall हमारी energy body में सब कुछ ये पांचों प्राण अच्छे से फंक्शन करें और एक बैलेंस मेंटेन करके चलें. That's what we do with pranayam. Now this we all know, so I won't take much time on this slide, but अगर हमने उस प्राण शक्ति को सही तरीके से यूटिलाइज नहीं किया, तो we face issues, because prana is what forms a connection between the mind and the body. Mind is also a subtle entity, but prana is what forms the connection. We need to really understand that. और जब भी हम लो फ्रीक्वेंसी पे होते हैं, जैसे नेगेटिव इमोशंस हैं, we are sad, we are not very enthusiastic about certain things, तो हमारी प्राण शक्ति ऑटोमेटिकली लो हो जाती है. And we are when we are in a positive state of mind, automatically हम, and it's a vice versa thing, हम प्राणायाम से वो डेवलप कर सकते हैं, और जब हम वो चीज उस स्टेट में होते हैं, तो we are at a good level of प्राणिक एनर्जी. अब आपको शायद, many of you would have heard this about this therapy, pranic healing. Now you would be able to relate better that when we are talking about pranic healing, हम actually heal क्या कर रहे हैं. This prana is also unique to each one of us. We all know that fingerprints हमारे unique होते हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें और unique होती हैं, but this life force also is unique. It has its own intelligence, it carries memory. जो हम कहते हैं ना karmic, हम अपने कर्मास को carry करते हैं, तो वो सब कुछ नहीं. It's a form of energy, and it is this energy which is driving us. So this prana is life, and every life in itself is unique and has its own way of manifesting, and a lot of science behind this pranayam. We won't go in all the details, but I'm just touching each concept. So basically, this is a little brief about what pran shakti is, which will help us understand when we practice pranayam कि ये कहाँ जाके exactly काम कर रही है, and to what deeper levels I can see the difference and note the results. Next tool that we spoke about was sound healing, Tibetan sound healing. Now sound also, we all are aware that this whole manifestation, the whole existence is from sound. हम कहते हैं ना इस ब्रह्मांड में एक नाद हमेशा गुंजमान है. There is, we all are aware, we all know about the Big Bang theory. So sound is the source of all being, and anything, even if it is something non-living, it has some vibration of its own, and vibration is what forms the basis of our reality. I'm sorry, I don't know, I once again went on mute. So I was just saying, so sound is the source of all being. Sound not only affects the body, but sound affects body, mind, and soul. It affects us as a whole. It affects us as a being. इसके लिए, if you all have seen or if anybody here who had attended Ankur Bhaiya's webinar on sound healing when we did it for the first time last year शायद जब किया था, he had taken us through a few experiments done on dust particles and water, how it brings them in a very structured and a beautiful formation when they are exposed to certain frequencies of sound. So those experiments very well show how sound affects matter, how sound affects the various different elements, earth, water, fire, and all these. तो अगर हम physical body अपनी देखें, तो we are made up of these elements. We are nothing but a combination of these 5 elements. Sound affects mind, sound affects soul, impacts basically, affects नहीं. उसको हम correlate करेंगे. We'll try to understand it with how mind is all about feeling, emotions, and all those things. So again, emotions, like we just saw in the previous slide, how each emotion affects an organ and how each emotion has its own frequency. So this is how, everything is connected: sound, emotions, frequencies, vibrations. So let's move ahead and see what more we have in this. Yeah. Now, water is a very important element which helps us understand why sound is such a powerful tool which works on helping us restoring that balance. अभी हमने जिस imbalance और balance की बात की, how sound helps us. Now, sound travels relatively faster in a liquid medium as compared to air, and I believe even faster in a solid medium. But अभी हम water की बात कर रहे हैं. So how this sound impacts on a human body in a healing way, the reason lies in the composition of the human body. हमारी पूरी body and each particular organ of our body is again composed of majorly this element, water. वो experiment का, I will see if I can find a link separately. I will share it with you all on the group. which very beautifully shows how various frequencies, when a bowl of water and a water falling from a tap is exposed to those frequencies, कैसे वो एकदम प्यारा सा एकदम spiral movement and how the water settles basically. तो वो चीज I will definitely share that link because that will give us a very clear picture. Here in this slide, if you can see, our brain, heart, lungs, everything is composed of 70+% of water. And in general, also, if we see at birth a human body, these percentages may vary. Net पे कहीं कुछ मिलता है, कहीं कुछ, but more or less it is 70% plus. At birth, it is 78% of water. जैसे जैसे बड़े होते हैं, males, females में अलग अलग presentation है, but overall, if you see out of the 5 elements, it is the water which is the major component of entire human body. And even if we break it, split it into various organs, the higher organ is majorly water. Coming to the brain waves. Brain is basically nothing but a lot of electrical activity happening, which presents itself in some way or the other. Just a quick through on from this slide, and then we move to another slide which is on the waves only, a little detailed explanation. So here if you can see, gamma wave में जब हम होते हैं, when our brain is emitting vibrations, जब vibrational frequencies gamma wave की होती हैं, we are in a very very focused state of mind, intense concentration and learning. Beta wave is the one in which we need to bring our brain so that we develop that the problem solving ability. We are able to engage ourselves into something meaningfully and are able to make decisions, solve problems. Alpha state is the most relaxing one. Most relaxing नहीं, पर जैसे हम बैठ के टीवी देख रहे हैं, आराम कर रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा कॉन्शियस भी हैं, एकदम स्लीप स्टेट में नहीं है, बट यू आर रिलैक्स्ड, कोई चीज का स्ट्रेस लेके नहीं बैठे हुए हैं. देन इज थीटा एंड देन डेल्टा. आई जस्ट मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड क्योंकि वहां पे हम इन्हीं वेव्स के बारे में बात करेंगे. या सो जस्ट नीड टू मूव दिस हियर. Now I've written the frequencies also here. I've missed writing its unit, but frequency is important to understand how these brainwave frequencies and how the frequencies generated by these sound healing bowls, the frequency of emotions, ये सब चीजों को कैसे समझना है and how it helps us get into that state of balance. So beta is more to do with more about you being in the present. You are in a good awakened state, conscious, जैसे अभी हम discussion कर रहे हैं. So we are all in a beta state of thought waves. Alpha is little lower in frequency, where we are relaxed but focused. जैसे अभी हमने बात किया, टीवी देख रहे हैं, हम देख रहे हैं, but we are not focusing very intensely कि ये चीज बस हमें समझ में ही आए. And this is when we have more when we are into any creative activities, art and craft, light meditation, ये सारी चीजें अल्फा स्टेट ऑफ माइंड वाइब्रेशनल फ्रीक्वेंसी में होती है. Theta is when your consciousness goes a little down and you go deeper and deeper into meditation. जैसे जैसे हम थोड़ी meditative states में जाते हैं, our creativity comes out more. This is also taking us towards the sleep state. हम consciousness धीरे धीरे lose कर रहे हैं and we are moving to a sleep state. Delta is deep sleep. Delta is basically जो हमें चाहिए healing के लिए. So we lose the body awareness, we are in a deep sleep state, deep physical relaxation, और सारे hormones, enzymes इस time पे release होते हैं. And gamma is genius's brain. Gamma frequency में it's tough to get into. So this is all the higher level of consciousness, problem solving, the genius brains, all mystical experiences happen in this frequency. इसलिए आपने कई बार सुना होगा meditation में कई लोगों को बहुत high level experiences हो जाते हैं. That's because they slip into that gamma state of brain wave activity. A little about binaural beat before I move to talking about the Tibetan singing bowls in particular. तो binaural beat basically क्या होता है? एक फ्रीक्वेंसी है लेट्स से 200 हर्ट्ज की, एक है 210 की. तो जब ये दोनों साइमल्टेनियसली प्ले होती हैं, our brain picks up and allows us to hear only the difference between the two. तो ये जो डिफरेंस है between the two different the two different frequencies which is coming to your brain, एक लेफ्ट से आ रही है, एक राइट से आ रही है, या एक डिवाइस से आ रही है, एक दूसरे डिवाइस से आ रही है, the brain picks it up only in the form of a difference between the two. So this difference, जैसे यहाँ पे the difference is 10, this is called a binaural beat. Our brain calculates this automatically and allows that sound to penetrate deep, and it starts entraining itself, recalibrating that, all that we talk about, rewiring, repair, regeneration, वो सारी चीजें ये binaural beat करती है. Now Tibetan singing bowls also, I will play it towards the end. मैं लेके बैठी हुई हूँ. So when you play it, it produces two notes. एक high note होता है, एक low note होता है, और एक wave form के उसमें a wave motion basically produce होता है, which penetrates your brain, your body, and initiates the process of healing. To understand how it works as a healing tool, हमने जो सारी चीजों के बारे में अभी बात की in pieces, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, the emotions, the brain wave pattern, water as a major component of human body, इन सारी चीजों को if we put together, sound इन चीजों को affect करती है, and hence indirectly brings us to a state of harmony from within. अंदर से जैसे जैसे harmony establish होती है, we start presenting ourselves in a harmonious way. And then the last tool that we are talking about today is yoga. I won't talk a lot about yoga here, but since I just mentioned 21 things to know about yoga, हमें ऐसा, like what we've been hearing about yoga always is, yoga is all about asanas. Ab, with the change in lifestyle and people moving back to the yogic practices, we have started accepting yoga, pranayam, and meditation, these three things, as a part of yogic practice. But yoga is way more than that. Just like we discussed when we were talking about pranayama, that pranayama is not just the breath work, it's not just a breathing exercise, but it is much deeper than that. Similarly, yoga भी क्या है, अब हम देखते हैं. Let's try to understand what comes under yoga. First, its meaning. Yoga comes from a Sanskrit word yuj, which means union. And in the books itself, they explain that yoga is a union of consciousness and matter. We as a physical entity and our inner consciousness. तो उस हिसाब से अगर हम देखें, and there is one more definition, manah prashmana upayah yoga. Yoga is a skillful method to calm the mind. So if we see it from this perspective, do you even think that yoga is anywhere even close to meaning asana? Asana is any physical posture. वो भी हम लोग बहुत गलत करते हैं. We believe, most of us, like even I used to believe that till I got into this depth of all the yogic science and deeper understanding of it, कि आसन वो होता है जो बहुत एडवांस्ड होता है, बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, हमें अपनी बॉडी को पुश करना पड़ता है वो करने के लिए, But you know the definition of asana given in the textbooks, given in the yogic scriptures is स्थिरम सुखम आसनम. वो आसन जो आप स्थिरता पूर्वक कर सको, आपके शरीर को सुख दे, वो होता है आसन, ना कि we pushing ourselves into getting into a particular posture. तो this is a myth also कि yoga is for flexibility. योगा से हम केवल एक फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, स्ट्रेंथ, स्टैमिना अचीव कर सकते हैं, या फिर एक और मिथ है कि योगा इज नॉट फॉर मी. It is for a particular group of people who already have certain amount of flexibility, who are younger in age, who do not have these XYZ diseases and disorders. तो वो कर सकते हैं, हम नहीं कर सकते. A few days back only, I was just speaking to my friend who has some major issue with her spine, the vertebral column, not the spine. So I told her yoga try किया, and she was like नहीं नहीं यार, योगा मेरे लिए थोड़ी है, I can't do it, I'm fat, I'm not flexible, and plus I have this vertebral column का issue, तो yoga is not for me. So that's how we have this blockage in our mind. तो who should do? हमें ऐसा लगता है कि कोई particular disease होगी तब हम करेंगे योगा, कोई disorder होगा तब हम करेंगे योगा, या yoga is just for general fitness but for young people, not for me. Yoga is for general fitness but for a particular XYZ group of people. But yoga is, again, like I said, way more than that. Yoga is a lifestyle. Not saying it just for the sake of saying it, but if we really want to practice yoga, we have to develop it as a lifestyle. The 21 things that I was saying we'll talk about under yoga is, this comes from Patanjali's Ashtang Yoga. जो हमारे महर्षि पतंजलि थे, he is that saint who scripted yoga in the text format. इसके yoga has been into existence from even ages back, but Maharshi Patanjali is the one who scripted it, and he defines it under this system Ashtang Yoga, where he says आसना के पहले ये दो चीजें आती हैं, यम और नियम. Then comes asana, pranayama, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. I'll just give a one-line description of, let me just pick one or two things from yam. 5 यम होते हैं: अहिंसा, सत्य, अस्तेय, ब्रह्मचर्य, अपरिग्रह. अब अगर हम एक एक की डिटेल में जाए ना, तो हमें ऐसा लगेगा हाँ, तो अगर अहिंसा को अगर हम लिटरल वर्ड्स में ट्रांसलेट करें तो अहिंसा इज नॉन वायलेंस. Is any of us in Do we have any questions right now, or we meet tomorrow directly? Tomorrow 8 p.m. I will share the link once again on the group, the Telegram group.
Are you doing the sound, the bowl?
Oh
Playing the
yes,
bowl?
yeah. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot about it. 1 minute, huh? Then yeah. See, right now it won't come that effective, but just try to experience this sound with your eyes closed. Okay, I will play two different frequencies, two different bowls. This is the bowl. I don't know if you can see it. Is my background affecting the? Is it visible to you all? Or I change my background? I think
Sometimes
now it would be visible. Yeah. एक second. ना. हाँ जी. So this is the bowl. It is made up of 7 different metals. When we play it, ये bowls और ये इसका striker होता है. There's this rimmer also, and these bowls they come in different sizes. So the set which I have at home is of 4 bowls. एक इसमें 7 bowls का आता है. ऐसे भी आते हैं बड़े बड़े gongs होते हैं and there's a huge sized bowl in which a man can sit inside and then the bowl is played so that, the vibrations go from bottom up पूरी body में penetrate होते हैं तो अलग अलग तरह के होते हैं this is the largest one which I have ठीक है and this is the kind of sound you will hear. Now I want you all to close your eyes like you were sitting for that pranayama exercise. You close your eyes and I will play thoda mixed sounds and just try to experience. Even if you don't feel like sharing, that's okay. But just try to experience it. How you feel the sound entering your body and what is the feeling it gives you. Okay? So let's start. Just close your eyes and bring all your awareness on your breath first. Now gradually shift your awareness from your breath to the sounds you are hearing in your environment. It could be the sound of the fan in your room, some sounds coming from the other room, the sounds of your child playing around. Keeping your eyes closed. Allow the sound of the Tibetan singing bowl to reach to your ears, your body and mind. Gently bring your mind back to the sounds around you in your physical environment. Bring both your palms together. Rub them gently. Rub them until you feel it a little warm, and spread this divine warmth over your face, eyes, before you open your eyes. So that was a little experience of the sound. Why we prefer sending you recordings is उसमें कोई disturbance नहीं आता. Like right now you're hearing it through my mic and reaching to you through the speakers. But जब हम ये record करके भेजते हैं आपको, the quality is better and the effect is also much better. But एक लाइव एक्सपीरियंस से आपको समझ में आया होगा what exactly is the sound like of these Tibetan singing bowls. When we hear, I have shared 3 or 4 audios, 3 I believe, on the YouTube, Sigan Mantras YouTube channel. आप लोग में से काफी लोगों ने उसको सुना है. So like I said, all these tools are not just for us or our kids, it's for anyone and everyone. If you feel that this is bringing or helping you to bring that little shift, we can definitely go ahead trying. If you have not tried the sessions which I have shared on YouTube already, if you want, I will share the links once again and you can try them tonight. आप उसको feel करो, experience करो, see how you feel it, or you know whether you like it or not, how it touches to your body system in depth or not in depth, however it is, and then you can reach out to me. And before we close, sound healing ka abhi I haven't added here, but this is the page for events and appointments, or sirf appointments ka there's a separate page. Events and appointments mein I have, when you go on this page, we have these events listed, है ना? So tomorrow we are meeting for a live Q&A discussion. If you wish to join, आप यहाँ पे जाके सिर्फ register कर लेना and you'll automatically receive all the details on your email. Then 29 se we are starting with pranayama session. You need to register only if you want to go ahead with the paid program for all 21 days. Free wala you can just attend like that. आपके पास आप email पे subscribed हो अगर तो I will be sending the link on emails. And 1st Feb se we are starting with the Sigan Yoga training program. Sound healing ka for the 21 days program, the cost would be 1100, including the first assessment session and all 3 recordings, which I will send you on a weekly basis after taking a little feedback and review from you. So sound healing ka probably I will list it down under appointments. ठीक है, वो आपको शायद events page पे नहीं मिलेगा. I'll do that today or maybe latest by tomorrow morning. So I will list it under appointments page. If any of you is interested, you can just drop in your query on the website या फिर ये events page पे you can directly register. Yeah, so that's all from my side, guys. anything else that you want to ask now, or we can meet tomorrow directly for the Q&A session?